getting ready to roll. So what we need to start with is a little bit of planning and a little bit of marking and just kind of thinking through the project first of all. Very first thing, I am no artist whatsoever, but you're going to want to draw out what you're going to do. Mainly, this just kind of get your head wrapped around what all materials you need, the process, and just making sure that you've got everything that you need so you don't have to make a trip to Lowe's right in the middle of your project. So for this project, I have a set of pint mason jars. I have 8 of the regular size reclaim boards, which watch my video below. I've got a link to show how to take apart a pallet so that you can get these boards. And then one of the larger boards that also came off the pallet. So you can kind of see here. So what I've done is I've laid them all out so that they kind of mirror what I drew out. This is plenty big enough with 4 boards, 4 of the smaller boards on the outside, 1 of the larger boards on the inside, and then we'll have 2 additional boards for the end. And then for the structure in the middle, this is just stuff that I had laying around. So the very first thing I'm going to do is actually get all of this kind of put together, lined out. I need to measure this guy. I need to know how wide he is. And he is right at 1/2 inch. So the reason I need to know that is these are going to sit on top. They're not going to be on the side. So I need to be able to measure 1/2 inch for my boards that are going to go across less than what I have here. 19 3/4 inches. Check this other side. Because, you know, sometimes with these bends in the board, it varies a little bit. This one is, yeah, see, this one is 19 7/8. So a little bit of difference. And that tells me how long I need to cut the boards on the side. We'll do that in just a little bit. The next thing I need to do is I need to take a look at these mason jars and figure out where I want these guys to sit. I want 8 of them because less than that you're really not going to have enough light, and I want to kind of stagger them. So I'm going to, remembering that there's got to be a junction box right here in the middle. I don't want to accidentally put a mason jar right there in the middle. That would be a fail. So go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm happy with that. So from there, I'll go ahead and mark this guy. And mainly, I'm doing this so I don't end up with one of my supports. So it doesn't have to be super scientific. Just make sure you indicate where these guys are going to be so you don't end up with a support right across where a jar is going to be. And meow comes the challenging part, figuring out where this guy's going to go. So on the bright side, he can go right there. And he can go right there. Perfect. Awesome. All right. So now I need to mark these guys and just move this in. a 1/2 inch. That's about right there. And over here, I'll measure back a 1/2 inch. Mark this guy right here. So that's where I want to cut him. Same thing on the other side. Okay, so that's that. Got these rock marks ready to cut. Now for these. I remember this one was just a little bit out of whack because of the way the boards are coming together, so I marked it a little closer to the 7/8 side over here. Okay, now we're off to the cutting board. This is our board. By the way, be really careful, especially in this reclaimed wood. You've got nails in this, so always make sure your mark doesn't hit a nail. So you can see in this one, if I'd been just a little bit further up, I'd have had a problem because I got a nail right there. So I would have had to either get a different board or turn it around a different way or something. So watch for nails. That's a bad thing. So the very next thing you're going to want to do is mark your pieces, because with reclaimed wood there's nothing square, so your measurements are never going to be quite exactly the same. So mark what goes where, of course on the side that you don't want to show. All right, it's time to nail this thing together. Got my handy dandy brad gun. You will need an air compressor. It's an air compressor tool, as you can see. That's really all I got to say about that. So don't lose your piece of wood. First rule of thumb. Second rule of thumb, lay your piece of wood down. Hold it in your, if you're right or left, hold it in your hand. You're actually going to use your thumb to pull the trigger. Hold down. Make sure not to have your fingers anywhere around where these brads are going to come through. That would not feel good. All right, I've already done the other end. So we have a pretty solid piece of wood. We'll flip it over. Just make sure, just like that one actually didn't stick in good. So we're going to redo him. Just put a few more brads in this all the way around. All right, so that's round one. Nice and good and tight, nothing's loose, nothing's wiggly. It's a lot easier from here. Flip it over. Make sure you got the right piece of wood. So this is my right end. Actually, not going to do that yet. Change my mind. I'm going to do the front first. Because, check this out. Make sure you got your nails on the outside so you got the right side out. Good. All right. And now comes the moment of truth. It's a tight fit, which is what we want. Get them down in there. Look at that. Ba-da. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Couldn't be happier with that. Keep in mind that the little brads come out of that little hole right there, not the part that you push in. So you have to make sure that that part is on the wood. Otherwise, you end up with brads sticking out like I did down there. I'm gonna have to fix that. Yep, I am. Perfect. Irma Gersh. Absolutely perfect. Okay, and finally, this guy. Not as tight of a fit, but that's okay. Still gonna work just fine. And don't do that. Don't let yourself get all tangled up. I was trying to take a shortcut, and it was about to bite me in the butt. Okay. And now, the last piece, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because of a couple of nail heads. We can get her done. Spider killing. Making the world better, one dead spider at a time. Okay, that's all that. I'm going to go back around with the hammer, any of these brads that are sticking up, and get them down. Cool thing is it just kind of adds to the character of the project. Okay, we are done putting the frame together, just like that. Not really bad at all. Next, we'll be working on putting the lights in, so onto the electrical. It's going to be fun. See you soon.